An investigation into the alleged naked corruption from Trump's current border czar is apparently too boring for right-wing media to take seriously. And here I'm talking about Megyn Kelly. We're gonna give you all the details on the actual corruption, but here is Megyn Kelly tweeting about it. "We do not care. Don't bother Tom Homan. He's a national treasure." And so, yeah, there's apparently good evidence that he accepted cash in exchange for doling out government contracts, and she doesn't care because he's on her side. That's it. That's the only reason. Megyn Kelly doesn't care about corruption when it's a Republican that's doing that. And she's now being accused of that. She's barely even defending herself. Now, in the past, she's implied that she cares about corruption as long as it's a Democrat. So back when the Republicans were in charge and they were pretending that they had something on the Bidens, she was tweeting all about it. "Oh, we're gonna get to the bottom of this on the Megyn Kelly show. There's more than enough proof already that the Bidens are corrupt." I'll just remind you, Donald Trump's crypto company took $2 billion from the UAE, and Megyn Kelly doesn't care. But she thinks that Hunter Biden got $5 million from China or something, which they can't even prove. And that's the biggest story in American history. She had this other thing about supposedly the Clintons were gonna be pursued, and she was really mad that the DOJ shut it down. Now, I personally think if the Clintons did commit crimes, they should be investigated. I haven't seen any evidence of that when it comes to this particular case. But again, she was very excited about it when it was a Democrat. But now when we find out that apparently the FBI did an undercover operation and they recorded Tom Homan accepting $50,000 in cash after indicating he could help the agents who are posing as business execs win government contracts in a second Trump administration. And that is literal. They put $50,000 like in a mob movie or a cartoon or something, like a big briefcase full of cash. And he's like, "Yes, I will give you government contracts. Give me all of that money." And she's like, "No, he's a national treasure." No, he stole national treasure, like a big briefcase full of treasure. That's what he's not a national treasure. And again, she doesn't care. Now they shut it down because it was the Bidens that were investigating. It was under the Biden administration. What does that have to do with the evidence? He's on tape taking a briefcase full of cash, but they don't care any more than Megyn Kelly does because Kash Patel is a hack and a grifter just like her. They don't have to even pretend to care about literally like a big sack of money with a big dollar sign on it being handed over. Even if you get them on tape, it doesn't matter anymore. That is how partisan and tribal they are. And Megyn Kelly now, she still has this like inclination from back when she thought she was gonna go legit in the news, that like when you say, "Hey, by the way, you're just nakedly in favor of your own team's corruption," that like hurts her, I guess. So she posted this. If we could go ahead to graphic 6, this goddamn novella on Twitter responding to this. And I'm not gonna read the whole thing because who's got the time for it? But it's all of this stuff that you did. We don't trust you. You were mean to us and you mocked Charlie and you blah, 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 and you blah and blah this and blah that. And none of it has anything to do with why Tom Homan is not guilty of committing cartoonish levels of corruption. It's just a bunch of grifting hack nothing. You guys were mean to us. What's you? Who is you? Who you did any of this? Nothing. She's not a serious person. She's not. And like she can do this or whatever, and she has her audience, and I'm sure that on the surface, she would pretend that everything's coming up Megyn or whatever. But I just want to be very clear. She thought she was gonna be like a daytime main network host, a serious, legitimate person. And it didn't work. And now she has to do this. She has to go on TV every day, or not even TV, internet, and pretend to support Donald Trump, a guy who tried to end her career, who mocked her just because she's a woman, who would never respect her because she's a woman. And she knows that. And every day she has to wake up and pretend to like him. And yeah, she gets paid well for it. So maybe the joke is on me or whatever. But you don't type a novella like this unless something is deeply bothering you about this whole thing. But she has to wake up and put on the costume every day because her party's been taken over by a cult and there's nothing she can do about it. What do you think, Jayar?
It's such a good thought, John. I hadn't thought about it that way. This is the thing. This is why there's that age-old thing about money doesn't buy happiness. You can make all this money, but look at how incredibly unhappy these folks really are. No matter what, you have to continue to carry this water. You have to have this growl and this scowl on your face, and this anger and this division, and you guys. Because again, it must really suck to think that you were going to be the next whatever Today Show main host, and instead you got caught up with the guy who embarrassed you. Let's keep it real. And people were actually on her side through that whole debate. But since when does saying, I don't care about facts, I don't care about reality, I don't care about what we've seen, I don't care about evidence, since when is that a flex? That's what you start with? I don't care. Tom Homan's a national treasure. That's your life. It's an admission that you expect blind fealty, blind support, and people just to push back on their own principles in order to satisfy you and this other guy. That sounds like supremacy. That sounds like everything that you say that you're not, and that this whole movement of MAGA isn't a white supremacist movement that expects everyone else to follow behind them, no matter what the reality is in front of our faces. It's I don't care. Greg Gutfeld said the same thing when he was arguing with Jessica Tarloff a few weeks ago about the rhetoric and the violence. She gave him all this evidence, and he goes, "We don't care. We don't care." If that you've gotten to the point of where you say, "I don't care, just listen to me," bro, you've lost. And now it's time to stop giving them any kind of credibility that they have given up themselves. We're giving them what they've abandoned.
Yeah, it's so pathetic. And again, she makes a lot of money, so she would imply that it doesn't matter. But this is nothing like what she expected her career would be. And that makes me feel better. Maybe that makes me a smaller person, but I'll take it. I don't care. And meanwhile, Tom Homan is out there having apparently committed these naked, corrupt acts. And at least for the next 787 shows, there's nothing we can do about it. But that's only a few years. And I think that's within the statute of limitations. So maybe once somebody reasonable gets in the White House once again, we can pick this up. And that's the thing. These people believe that they are protected. They can do literally anything they want in full public plain view, because right now they can. And the DOJ is just the Trump law office, so they're not gonna do anything. But if they're not in charge anymore and they committed these crimes, then they can be investigated for this stuff, particularly the corruption. If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.